Flosstube. Welcome to this video. My name is Anna and I'm here to talk about cross stitch. Today is Saturday, June 28th, and I missed my update last month, so I have 2 months of progress to show you, and I knew that if I didn't record a video right now, there was a chance I wouldn't be able to record another one until like the end of the next month. And at the end of the next month, at the end of July, is Ethan's birthday. So all that to say, I am glad I made time today. So I'm just going to give you a quick update. We spent the morning at the pool, and right after this, I'm going to go do yard work. So here we are. Let's get started. I worked on 5 whips. I guess I'll talk about what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk about the whips that I worked on in May and June. I'm going to announce the winner of the giveaway. I'm going to talk a little bit about my plans for July. I have a little bit of haul, and then I don't know how much of a life update I'll give, but maybe at the end when I'm rambling a little bit, I will show some pictures of what we've been doing lately. So the whips, I worked on 5 things over May and June. Or was it 6? 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll start with my full coverage. It's Mini Birdsong by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm stitching this on 18 count Aida with 2 strands of DMC. And this is where it's at. Let's see if I can pull it back. So I did work some more on the blue in the sky, but mostly I was still working on this 20 wide diagonal. And so I got all the way down here. I am still missing some stitches through here. But it's mostly done down here. I also got a little overexcited with this purple color. I started stitching down into the next column, and when I realized it, I wasn't going to pick it out, so I just finished my strand. So when I do the next diagonal, that little bit will already be done. Yeah, my goal for this year was to finish this diagonal and then do a whole another one, and we're at the end of June, so I'm not sure if that will happen. I'm not going to stress about it, but I'm still going to keep this in my rotation, and that's what I'll be working on. I'll finish this diagonal, and then I'll come up and I'll do another 20 wide diagonal, and I will still try to work in a couple lengths through here. So yeah, that is Mini Birdsong. I think that the lighting down here always washes everything out. It's looking a little more gray than it is. This is kind of like the muted section of the whole project, but everything is a lot more pink than it's showing up right now. And it's white Aida, so I'm not sure that anything will actually help with this. But anyway, that is where we're at with Mini Birdsong. The main project that I worked on was Salute to Abigail by Blackbird Designs. And I don't have the cover page down here because I traveled with the project and I took most of the stuff out of my project bag, so it'd be easier to travel with. But hopefully I'll show a picture of the one I'm working on. Okay, use this for this one. Try to button it out a little bit. Okay, so my goal on this one was to finish the bottom border. That was my goal for the year, and I got way more than that done, so I will show you. This is where it's at. Let's see, maybe this side this time. So I finished the bottom border, including all of these flowers. This one is a lot easier to see in person. But then I also finished this entire border on this side, including all of the flowers. And I got a good start on the top border over here. And I got a good start on this border over here. You can see I left off, I still have a thread hanging here. So yeah, that was really good progress. And like I said, I took this on a couple of trips. I went to a work trip to Chicago, and I worked on this a lot on the plane. And then I took a trip to Kansas to visit my family, and I worked on this in the car while Ethan watched Paw Patrol. I also finished the red bird. It's holding a flag, but I was just tired of seeing it without a head, so that's how far I got, and it really shows. It seems really small to me. Like, I'm not sure everything will fit in those corners, but I counted it out and it matches the pattern, so this whole project seems a lot closer to a finish than it did before I did those borders. So I'm really happy with this progress. I did meet my goal for the year, so there's a chance this will not come back out again. We'll just see what I feel like and kind of progress I make on other things. I did do a color conversion for this one, so if you're interested, just ask in the comments and I'll share the info for that. So yeah, this is on 36 count fabric. It's my only one on 36 count, and I really like it, and I was able to stitch on it even in the car. So yeah, I'm really happy with that progress. I also added another needle minder. I added this like stern Uncle Sam figure. He's on there as a reminder to me that democracy is not dead. Like, don't lose hope, you know? So it's a good reminder there. Okay, I also worked on my Millville kit. This one, I can't remember if it's just called Lucky or if it's called Luck of the Irish, but it says Luck of the Irish on it. So this is where I got to on this one. I'm pretty sure I added more beads to the rainbow, and I started this pot, and I think I brought at least one of these letters, definitely this letter down. That's the S, right? Yeah. So I just brought more of the yellow down over here. And so that is what I worked on this one. This one I started this year, and my goal is to finish it this year. So I don't know if it will get put away or if it will stay out for July. We'll see. I'm happy with that progress, and I do think I could still finish this by the end of the year. I'm just gonna make it a priority at some point. That was my buttons and beads kit. I also worked on, finally, I worked on my dragonfly. I did not meet my year goal on this one, but I am happy with the progress I made. It's this Wee Beasties common green darner, is what it's called. And this cover photo just really doesn't do it justice, I don't think. So, let's see. Here's my progress on this one. So I don't know if you'll be able to tell or not, but my goal for this one was to finish 2 more wings, and I made some progress on this upper wing. I think there's more there than it's showing, but it's definitely not done. It's not even halfway done. And then I also started backstitching the head of the dragonfly and some of these legs. So the details are really starting to come out, and I am looking forward to working on this some more this year, just because I'm not done with my goal. And once I start working on it, it's enjoyable. It's just deciding to reach for it that sometimes I just don't feel like it. That's where we're at on this dragonfly. I've said before, this wing is like stitching clear fabric or clear thread on white fabric. But there is some rainbow color in there too. Alright, so that's where we're at on that one. And then the last one that I worked on was Teresa Winsler's Millennium. It's this one. And my goal for this year on this one was to stitch this pillar area and to stitch the moon, which is over 1. So I did not meet either of those goals, but I worked on both of them. So I'll show you my progress there. This one I took off of the Q-snap so I could show you both spaces that I worked on. Needle minders are stuck together. here is where I got to. So I'll show you back here. This is a Stormy Gray Jobelin. I think I've called it different names in different videos, but I found the like little tag that came with it, and it's Stormy Gray. Okay, so I worked in this pillar, which it's hard to, oh, maybe you can see it right now, but it's gonna have a torch, like a flame right here, and then this is all smoke, and then there'll be more smoke up here. But to get this effect, I had to do, they tell you to do the first leg with the underlying color, which you can see there's a lot of different colors through here. And then you come back over it, the second leg, with this gray blend. And then that makes it like a smoke effect. It will be easier to see once the backstitching goes in, because all of these like sections are backstitched, but they're not backstitched in the smoke. So these will be more defined after the backstitching goes in, but the smoky part will not be. So it was interesting to like have to layer that, and there's still the backstitching layer to give it that effect. But yeah, that was really neat to work on that. And then a couple of those colors in the pillar continued, and I had a lot more thread on my needle because they're blends. And so I continued the arch over, and they're lining up roughly over here. I know that there was a mistake in the arch somewhere here, so I'm hoping I can make up for that somewhere and account for it. The other section that I worked on was in the sky. I started on the moon, and I still have a thread from that. So this is the moon next to the earth, and I did some of the blue that makes it more of a circle shape around here, and then I started on this dark gray that goes throughout, and then I came up to the top and I started on the white color, which is there, like the top 3 or 4 rows have this white color in it. So overall, I think that that's going to look really cool. And even though I haven't met my goal, I'm really happy with the progress I made on this. And yeah, there it is all together. So those are the whips that I worked on in May and June. I'm going to pause and go get the giveaway, and then when I come back, I'll talk about my plans and some of the other stuff. Okay, so last time I posted a video, I announced a giveaway. I'm giving away this kit. It's Russian. I used like the Google Translator, and it said it was Russian, so that's what we're going with. I know nothing about this kit except that it comes, you know, it looks unopened and it's got Ada. Colors look beautiful. So I asked you all to comment what you're growing this year, like what you're growing in your garden or what you grew, or if you don't grow anything. And the winner was Owl Bee Stitching 8839, like owl like the bird. So Owl Bee Stitching 8839. Congratulations. I will contact you, or we'll talk somehow, and I'll comment on your comments for you to give me your address to send you this kit. So congrats on that. I don't have a giveaway this week because this is kind of on the fly, but I do have a stack of things for future giveaways, so maybe next time I'll be more organized for that. My plans for July stitching, I am planning to do Jolly July, so Christmas in July. I have 3 Christmas projects. I have my stocking, which has already gotten a lot of work this year. I have the 12 Days of Christmas, which I've not worked on, and I don't think I've worked on it, and my Blackwork Square, which I know I've not worked on. So for July, I'm going to focus on those 3 projects, but if I get bored with those, I might go to my list and see which projects still did not have their yearly goal met, and I might pick from those. So it's my loose plan for that. As far as haul goes, I have been going to some estate sales and thrift stores, but I have not found anything that has tempted me. And I've also favorited some things on Etsy and 123 Stitch, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on those because I've got so many other things to stitch on. But my mom and my brother go garage sailing back in Kansas, and every now and then they'll pick up some cross stitch stuff, and then when I am home or one of them visits me, they bring their finds, and then I get to go through them. So my mom got a big box of cross-stitch stuff from a few different people. There's a stack probably this tall of booklets, leaflets, a couple kits. So I went through there, and I'm sending about half of them to the thrift store for somebody else. I'm keeping about half of them, some of them so that I can stitch, and some of them potentially to sell on my eBay store. So I did not bring the whole stack over, but I will show you a little bit of the stuff that she picked up. So one of the things that was in this stack, there are several of them. They're this like plastic canvas holiday things, and there's 3 booklets here. They're like 3-dimensional. So like you do the bunny, and then you also do these balloons, and then you stack them. Or like this pumpkin is like a 3-dimensional shape. And I don't love these as they're presented here. It's definitely got an era vibe to it. But I was looking at it, and a lot of these are stitched on 7-count plastic canvas. So I was thinking I could do them on a smaller count plastic canvas and do them in beads. I think that some of these would be really cool in beads, like this turkey here. You know, they have it as like a door hanging, but you could just do the turkey, and then these feathers are layered. And so I was thinking if you did this in all beads, it would be shiny and pretty and small and cute. Like here's a 3-dimensional candle. That would be pretty cool in all beads. So I think these are kind of neat, and I don't have any plans to start them immediately, but when I do start them, I think I'm going to try to pick up some beads. So I've got 3 of those, and yeah, I actually had the same thought about this one for these coasters. You know, I'm not planning to stitch on this larger canvas with these long stitches, but I thought like this one would be really pretty in beads and small. So those are kind of neat. I also got just a bunch of like borders and alphabets. I feel like the more I get into customizing things myself, the more useful this stuff would be. But this one in particular, I thought that some of these pictures would be really pretty on their own, just as a small, like these hummingbirds and these baskets. And if there is anything dated about them, I think that just the colors could be refreshed, and it would still be it would make it really fresh. Like on the back here, we've got these butterflies and more flowers. So I got this little stack of, well now it's all messed up, but little stack of alphabets and borders and that kind of thing. So those would be useful. And then I also got this Paula Vaughn's Quilt of the Bible booklet. Now this is in really, really good shape, and I'm not sure that I will stitch any of these specific patterns. So this might be one that I list online, but it was still a really, really good find. This is a really thick booklet, and it's in good condition. So that was my haul. As far as life goes, I'm trying to think back in May. What happened in May? Oh, my husband switched jobs in May. So for the first couple of weeks of May, he had time off, and we tried to tackle a lot of stuff around the house, a lot of things that we've been putting off. And then he started his new job, and we've been kind of adjusting to that. He used to work hybrid. He used to work 4 days at home and 1 day in the office. And his new job, he's in the office 5 days a week. So it's been an adjustment with the morning routine with Ethan and our evening routine, and also just me being at home alone all day now since I work from home. So we've been just settling into that new routine. We've been doing just like our normal hiking, biking. We actually bought I don't think I talked about this last time, but we bought a shotgun seat for Ethan. And what that is it's a special, I'm sure there are specific words for it, but it's a special post that goes on my husband's bike, and it has little handlebars and a little seat and little holsters for his feet. and he rides in front holding the handlebars, and it's on my husband's mountain bike. And so we've gone on some bike rides, all three of us, with Ethan holding on, and it's just really cute, and he loves it. So looking forward to doing more of that. And we were able to go a little bit further into, not wilderness, but further down the trail on those bikes. So we stopped and had a really scenic spot near Waterton Canyon. The trailhead is like less than 15 minutes from our house, and then we biked a couple miles in, and then we stopped by the river, and we just, had our snacks, threw rocks in. We saw some bighorn sheep. It was a really nice weekend, and sometimes I forget to share it because we do it all the time, and I'm really happy that we're able to live a lifestyle where we can spend time outside with, nature and everything. Otherwise, I mentioned I went on a work trip to Chicago. That was a pretty whirlwind trip. I ended up going to the casino between day 1 and day 2 with a couple of my coworkers, and I didn't lose money. Let's go with that. I had my buy-in, and I walked out with my buy-in and $7 extra. So for a couple hours of blackjack, that was pretty fun. Day 2 of the work trip was a little rough, but everyone had, a good laugh about it. We also visited my family in Kansas, and we went to, my hometown has like an art and music festival every year. I've mentioned it on this channel before, and I usually try to buy a piece of art for the house, mostly for my office, because this is kind of where I put all the crazy stuff. Actually, let me show you what I picked up this time. Okay, so this year I bought a wood cutting, and it was hard for me to pick which one I wanted. It was between this one and one with like teals and browns that I really loved but wouldn't have gone in this room very well. So this is what I got. It's kind of hard to appreciate it on the camera, but it is layers and layers of painted wood cutouts that have been glued one on top of the other to create this like effect. And I don't know, like that's how deep it is. You can see the layers. And so this guy, I don't know, laser cuts? I don't know what kind of tool he uses, but he designs it, and then he cuts out the layers, and then he paints every layer, and then he glues them together, and it comes out with this big, beautiful image. So I'm thinking I'm actually going to put this here, like right behind my desk, so that I see it when I walk in the door, and so that it's behind me during my work calls. And then I'll move these paintings other places in the same room. So I'm really happy with that find, and I'm glad to be supporting artists and actually that event specifically. Okay, so other than that, let's see, been gardening. Our front yard is looking awesome. Maybe I'll make an effort next time to actually do an overview of the yard and compared to last year, but it's looking great. We still need to fill in some holes where plants did not survive, but we haven't done that because I have to I want to rake out the rocks and check the irrigation line to see if that's why the other plant died before I put something new there. This is a bigger project than I usually have time for at like nap time, which is right now is nap time. But we did get this month Yard of the Month Club for our neighborhood. So I'm really happy with that because for years it was dying grass and then it was just empty mulch, and now it's nice, big, beautiful plants. So yay to us for that, and it's great to have some recognition from the community. We live near the front of the neighborhood, right by the stoplight to get in and out, so people see our yard all the time, and traffic backs up in front of our house and people are just sitting there, and so it's really great to have a beautiful yard for them to look at now. I think that's all I can come up with. Hopefully I was showing some pictures while I was talking, and yeah, I will see you guys soon. Happy stitching. Bye.